is just cranking out. You can see the clouds behind me there. I mean, they come through every once in a while with some showers, so we're gonna, these guys are actually really good with packing out their garbage and keeping everything clean like that. So this is an old tarp that's all sun faded, and it's gonna get packed out with us in the hovercraft. And for now, I just sit on it, get changed on it, and then anything I don't want to get rained on, I just fold the tarp over on top of it. And then, you know, because it's gonna rain, you know, it comes and goes. Yeah, kind of useful. Gold looks good from yesterday. Looks like we're down a little bit compared to usual, but you never know until the weigh-in. Probably won't even get you a weight in this video because this is all about underwater. Speaking of which, I have 1 hour until I'm supposed to hop in, and it's not like I'm, you know, working or anything. Like, I'm not scheduled to, like, it's just they're letting me get some time in the nozzle and play around and have some fun, and I'll definitely take advantage of that. High pressure water is in here. High pressure takeoff right here. Upper box, grizzly. Ignore this, it's a prototype. Lower box, still running too hot, but catching fine gold. I'm standing on the tailings right now, so it's a lot shallower. You can see it's only this deep. And the tailings are just this nice loose gravel. Pretty much what we're working up there just gets dumped back here, washed with water, and you can see just like little tailings piles. And then as we move upriver, we basically have a little hole that goes down. We're trying to suck up some bedrock, and then our tailings fill our own hole as we go. So when we walk along, there's only ever that little hole right up at the nozzle, and then it's all just sort of covered up behind us. Top grading, bottom grading. Gap in between right there. There's a top layer and a bottom layer of screen. The top screen protects the bottom screen up here. Maybe you can't. So, I don't know how well that is going to turn out. It does get a little bit murky in the, like near the nozzle, depending on what phase you're at. Like if he's busy working down the face, then the the water kind of pulls a bunch of stuff down to the nozzle, and then it gets a little murked up. Whereas if he's digging down into this sort of fractured bedrock where we're finding some of the coarser gold, then it's a little bit more clear down there. I mean, ideally, if I'm showing you how the grating in the box works, it would be without actually sucking anything through, so it's nice clear water, but hopefully that's a little taste of what it's like.
Get rid of the big one. Just ran out of fuel, so I hiked into shore, took the opportunity to have a pee, and have refueled the dredge. Drop down. There we go. I can put my belts on by myself because I don't have the hot water hose like rigged into my suit. If you had to feed these through your hot water hose, it's pretty tricky to do solo. Yeah, I'll get back to it. Let you know how it goes.
All right, I ran out of fuel again just before 7 p.m. So pretty much a 6-hour dive. Feel pretty good about it. Yeah, we got to the front of our winch rope. So like the winch is held on to a old yellow rope that's like pinned up river. And we were right at the front. So we took the shoreline and I tugged the dredge as tight as we could go. Then they let the winch out all the way and we tied a new loop in like that yellow line, rehooked the winch to that, so now they've got plenty of pull so we can keep the cut going. It's a big wide cut, and yeah, it was a fun day. I guess it rained while I was down there. There was a nice rainbow over here and got a little dark. Whenever the sun's shining, it's a lot easier to see what you're doing down there and the gold and everything. But I think that is it for me. I'm gonna change out of this. Just to keep my skin happy when I'm in a wetsuit like multiple days in a row. I usually have a little bit of a shower, so I've got a solar shower that is currently empty, and there's like a hot water bleed on that dredge, so I basically just take my solar shower bag, and instead of waiting for the sun to warm it up, I just open it up and fill it up off the hot water on the dredge, hang it up in a tree, and have a quick rinse with some soap, and yeah, just sort of keeps me from getting like a diaper rash or something like that. This basically is just a hose barb for 1.5-inch hose, but I 3D printed this male cam lock fitting, and the only thing I modified, like I modified it for my threads on Fusion 360, but I added a very gentle bulge on the inside here, so right where this is narrowest, I made this come in a little bit, so it's still thick there and plenty strong. And I should be able to just plug that directly into there, and we'll see how it goes. What I do is I take a little bit of dielectric grease, like a silicone grease. You can just grease these terminals every once in a while, and that'll keep them nice and happy. And so at this point, it's just a dial here. I'm just gonna pick up the camera, like so. So we're gonna go from battery through the power meter, which, if I can get this facing the right way here, we're at 12.6 volts on the battery, so full charge. And we basically just, initially you have to turn this dial all the way down as like a safety feature, and then you just crank it up. So we're currently running 0.5 amp, 8 watts. You just barely hear it whirring. Now low power coming to us. So that is running at 33 watts. Wow, so almost no power. Obviously not a lot coming out of it. Let's crank things up here to 70 watts. This thing uses no power. That's amazing. Okay. Crank it up a little bit more. So we're up to 150 watts right there. That's more than we were running for the clean out at a single level. I think we probably want maybe a touch more. So it's easy as a dial. We're at 213 watts. At this point, you could definitely run. You've got a decent amount of, like, you know, stuff going on up there. You can clean material. Down here, that'll definitely run. The more water you go, the faster you can hit it with material. But of course, the ultra fine gold, you want to stay low. So this is pretty solid right here. But let's just crank it to full bore just to see for a second. So that's full. We're really hammering through the top there. It's 335 watts. This is an underpowered prototype. I'm just doing some durability testing. But, I mean guys, it is silent. You're just hammering through material up here. Like, that'll chew through ground. You're shoveling. More than enough down here. Make sure we're not sucking any air. Pretty good. That's a cool test. I'm glad I was able to do that out here in Alaska. And I guess, yeah, stay tuned for a production version of that that's a little tidied up and the potential for more power. Basically, within the limits of those electronics, I can push a fair bit of power out of this so that you can run cleanups, highbanker, and I'm not yet sure what size of dredge it will be capable of running, but easily a 2.5-inch dredge with good suction. Whether I can get a 3 to run, like a traditional, like above the surface 3, we'll see. But yeah, I'll give it a good hot go because that would be pretty sweet. Anyways, that's this part of it. As far as all the gold and cleanups and everything, I guess I probably should tack in a little bit of that at the end. I'll just show you what's going on with the final cleanups, just to tie up the video a bit, but you guys won't really care about the numbers too much because you didn't really get into all the details of what's going on with that thing. Never expected to use it this way, but really happy that we can. That's usually self-clearing when it's at a steeper elevation, but for cleanouts, it's really handy that you can actually see, make sure there's no nuggets you're losing. This is the leftovers. You can kind of have a second look as it's going over to make sure you don't have any gold in here. A little shake, back pan, a little shake, back pan.
20.
Get a close up here. There you go. So 20 grams of gold looks like that little pile. Alright, this is it. Looks like I'm alone here in Alaska. I'm just gonna be living here. Here's my supplies. Got my nice big suitcase. Very easy to pack that around because it's got wheels, and the wheels do really well in these rocks here, so I'm pretty much set up. It's gonna be like the survival channel going ahead here. Gonna be like hunting moose with a pistol because that's just how we do it here in Alaska. Yeah, so there you go. Stay tuned for the next 9 months of winter out here, and we'll be up foraging berries later on today to see if we can find enough calories to survive. And well, I really hope they come back, man. I really hope they come back for me, man. I sure hope they don't forget about me here. Ah! And this is us saying goodbye to Dredge Fest 2025. Back to civilization of sorts out here in Alaska. Here below the falls, hovercraft went through without me just because struggling with weight a little bit, but they'll be back, I'm sure. And this is really cool. So there's the falls we came through. This is a Dalkey 6-inch. It looks just so incredibly small and maneuverable compared to the 8s that I've seen. Just really kind of cool for just punching around and looking around. It's got one of these Dalkey jets. It looks like this one's a triple. So you got a 1, 2, 3. Now, I've been playing around with my 3D printer and like actually testing different jet designs. You know, there may be some room for improvement here, but despite all of these sharp angles, like I've got a 4-inch version from Dalkey, and it sucks. It sucks good. It's kind of nice having the little tap off the front there, and I'm sure you could clean up the welding a little bit and make it all like super hydrodynamic, but it's a cool design just in terms of like the plumbing, just like boom, straight in. You got your 13 horsepower Vanguard running this 6-inch. Little tool storage trays on the front of the floats, looks kind of nice. And then looks like a bit of a 1/2-inch woven wire mesh over the top riffles for a section of it. Pull some speed off. And then these are like the little dovetails, so it's like folded down under each side. Yeah, no idea how all that stuff works, but it seems like a lot of the gold in this river is pretty catchable in a standard box, and then any of the dust that might make it past would be like you'd need a totally different like somp or something to hold on to it. All part of the adventure of trying to figure out the local gold. This is an absolute legend right here. The guy who runs this says he's been up and down those falls a good 100 times, and I'll clip in the little drone shot of that 8-inch dredge getting dragged, perfect line right through the falls, just beautifully done. Little reverse grade on here. I guess that's a Kawasaki 650 2-stroke, and yeah, neat little setup for sure. And then this boat here, I think this is actually really cool. So it's got like I think you call that a mud motor, like a swamp drive or something, but it's got that little fin kicked down below the prop, and that means like if you hit any shallows, that fin basically just keeps the prop from hitting. And yeah, it's just on a pivot. Looks like a Honda GX390, which I think is probably like a 13 horse kind of a setup. Probably moves that thing pretty good. Inflatable boats like that are actually pretty wicked. You can get some like super heavy duty like jet ones, like the Solar 470s or whatever, Pro Jet models. You can Google those if you've never heard of that before. But yeah, nice little paradise down here. You got a big sandy beach right under the falls. Nice calm water down here to, you know, cool down on a hot summer day. Go for a swim. Wicked little spot. Yeah, with any luck, our hovercraft will be back soon, and we'll make the second half of this trip. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I love just getting an eye for like all the different equipment people have out here and different setups, and it's been an awesome learning experience, just sort of taking it all in. Anyways, that's where we stand for now. Alright, so here's one for the comment section. You can let me know what the heck this thing is. I found it half buried in the sand, full of sand, and sort of rinsed it out here. But it's a like steel container, and then we open the lids, that'd be like a latch, and maybe it used to have a seal. And you open it up, the inside is double lined, and this feels kind of like, not feels, but it looks like a stainless or like tin, or like there's no rust on that. If we look in here, there's a little spring piece of steel down there on the bottom, and then with this open, there's another piece of spring like right here, and like that would close, and the latch here is bent, but it would close down. And then it's got something written on it here. It says Drucken, and then 12/121/8965. So it's not a date. unless it's from the future. But I mean, maybe yeah, you do like a reverse image search of this thing and figure out what this was. But yeah, if anyone knows, it's kind of cool. Like, I'm thinking maybe like a cook kit, and then like there'd be some stuff that you'd store in here, and then put a little alcohol pad that's held down there, and then the stove on. No, that doesn't make any sense. This kind of held here, it doesn't seem to pop out. But yeah, if you know what this is, let me know, let us all know in the comments below. Good to go. There's a little hovercraft treat right here. So we've got the zebra striped one in the background there. That's what we were riding in. This one right here, we saw it driving down the river the other day. So it sits really high on the skirt, so you'd stay fairly dry running it. And check out the drive system on this thing. I've never seen this before. This is really cool. So you've got a vertical shaft Kohler. See if I can see what kind of horsepower it says. I don't think I can read that from here. Anyways, I'll figure that out. But look at that, you've got one propeller facing straight down, and then there's a belt that comes and runs a 90 degrees up to your propulsion propeller. 3-blade aluminum. That is awesome. I really think that's cool. Hovercraft all covered up. Transferred over the extra gear into the flatbed trailer. Ooh, the upstairs gold room. So we've got comps, little Keen trommel. This is an interesting side-by-side. You've got your Keen highbanker over here and your Proline highbanker over here. And they're both combos. So you get a little pump engine combo for each. Looks like Keen bends this over and uses a thinner gauge of metal, and Proline just leaves it straight, has a slightly thicker gauge of metal. Both running like a moss screen, you know, stuff and things. Yeah, I wonder how one of these would do on.
Final cleanup.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what, two and a half inch.
Proline.
This is a Proline. Oh no,
2-inch.
that says Keen on the float.
Oh, okay, there's a Proline.
Oh, there's a
Yeah, 2 Keen.
Proline 2-inch dredge is displayed in the Keen. Yeah, there you go. All right, but yeah, 2.5 inch dredge hose. Oh yeah, that's super like light duty and flexible, which is pretty nice. Well, just
In Australia.
So you're saying that I should go to Australia to find more of those?
Get chopping because you're not doing anything over there.
All right, we gotta go to Australia as soon as I pick up a new hobby. We've got a wide variety of guitars and music-related things. This is Pro Music Alaska. We've actually been talking about you guys for the entire Dredge trip. Just the novelty of Pro Music.
Yeah, how'd the trip go?
Actually, a really cool music store. I mean, I'm here for the gold, but here, have a look at this guy right there. Ain't she a beauty? It's actually really cool. Yeah, we'll give you a quick tour of downstairs and all sorts of really neat stuff here. You can actually outfit a pretty serious dredging operation from this place. So we're just gonna follow Eric here downstairs into the dungeon gold room.
Well, this used to be the studio way back in the day.
Oh yeah! How long ago did this get converted to gold mining stuff?
We started doing the business. I started up with it about 10 years ago. I'm not sure when they converted downstairs. A lot of it used to be upstairs.
So yeah, you got some air tanks down here. There's standalone pumps. It's one of those big Proline pumps there, I think.
A little panning demo there.
Oh, please do not touch. Thank you. Yeah, do some panning.
And then this is the goodie room. Watch your step.
So we're going past a fair bit of dredge hose, and ooh, would you look at this goodie room? Portable sluice boxes. This is quite the contraption. This is what, the A51 or
A52 Super.
A52 Super.
Yeah.
So it's got a built-in classifier halfway down the sluice, and then you get your nuggets down there. It's a pretty cool setup. Comes with leg kit and everything.
Leg kit, classifying kit, and then some different matting and stuff too than the stock version.
Okay. Oh yeah, you got like the beach mat stuff.
Miracle mat.
Miracle mat. Yeah, that's the stuff. The miracle mat. Yeah.
We just got some Desert Fox and Desert Camel gold wheels in.
Oh, the gold cube feeder trommel thing, and I would have to, spend an hour here to fully understand all the cool stuff Eric's got down here. And yeah, these guys here at Pro Music definitely have a fun place to check out. Whole variety of gold pans and such. And I'm just gonna head out there and get myself some snuffer bottles, because I really like the Garrett Gold Guzzlers. They're hard to get in Australia, I think.
Oh,
so
yeah, those are my favorite ones too.
pick some of those up, and then what do you guys think of the place?
Great. Yeah, it's got so much stuff.
It's really cool to see it in person, like a physical gold store, All sorts of fun stuff here. Little sand scoops. You've got detectors here too, right, upstairs? Yeah.
Mine Lab and Garrett.
We'll get 2 of these, please. And there was a little, one of these small magnet guys. Perfect. So there you go. I'll pay for these upstairs like a true customer. They did get me a shirt though, so I'll be wearing that in some future videos, I'm sure. But yeah, no, it's just really cool to see like a whole variety of different things. You go online, you're looking at different stuff. I wish I could spend a little more time here, but we gotta make a flight. So that's Pro Music Alaska.
Thanks for visiting.
All right.